Class 8, Unit 2. A Prescription for Life. Jerome K. Jerome. I remember going to the British Museum one day to research some sort of illness that I thought might be hay fever. I picked up the medical encyclopedia and read all about hay fever. I idly turned the leaves and began to indolently study diseases in general. I forget which was the first disease I plunged into, some dreadful disease I know, but before I had glanced half down the list of warning symptoms, it dawned upon me that I had all of them. I sat for a while, frozen with horror, and then, in utter despair, I again turned over the pages. I came to typhoid fever, read the symptoms, discovered that I had typhoid fever for months without knowing it. I then wondered what else I had got, turned up St. Vitus's dance, found that I had that too. I began to get interested in my case and decided to investigate it thoroughly. So I started alphabetically, read up ague, malaria, and learned that I was sickening for it, and that the worst stage would commence in about 2 weeks. Bright's disease, I was relieved to find, I had only in a mild form. Cholera I had, with serious complications, and diphtheria I seemed to have been born with. I carefully went through all the 26 letters, and the only malady I could conclude I had not got was housemaid's knee. I felt rather hurt about this at first. It seemed somehow to be a kind of insult. Why hadn't I got housemaid's knee? Why was this illness left out? After a while, however, less greedy feelings took over. I reflected that I had every other known disease in the pharmacology. I grew less selfish and determined to do without housemaid's knee. Gout in its worst form had seized me without my knowledge. Enzymosis I had clearly been suffering from my boyhood. There were no more diseases after zymosis, so I concluded that there was nothing else the matter with me. I sat and pondered. I thought what an interesting case I must be from a medical point of view, what an acquisition I should be to a class. Students would have no need to walk the hospitals if they had me. I was a hospital in myself. All they need do would be to walk round me and after that, take their diploma. Then I wondered how long I had to live. I tried to examine myself. I felt my pulse. I could not at first feel any pulse at all. I tried to feel my heart. I could not feel it. It had stopped beating. I patted myself all over my body, but I could not feel or hear anything. I tried to look at my tongue. I could only see the tip, and the only thing that I could gain was to feel more certain than before that I had scarlet fever. I had walked into that reading room as a happy, healthy man. I crawled out a decrepit wreck. I went to my doctor. He is an old chum of mine and feels my pulse and looks at my tongue and talks about the weather, all for nothing when I think I am sick. So, I thought I would return the favor by going to him now. What a doctor wants, I said, is practice. He shall have me. He will get more practice out of me than out of 1,700 of his everyday patients, with only 1 or 2 diseases each. So I went straight up and saw him, and he said, "Well, what's the matter with you?" I said, "I will not take up your time, dear boy, with telling you what the matter is. Life is brief, and you might pass away before I had finished. But I will tell you what is not the matter with me. I have not got housemaid's knee. Why I have not got housemaid's knee I cannot tell you, but the fact remains that I have not got it. Everything else, however, I have got." And I told him how I came to discover it all. Then he examined me and clutched my wrist to check my pulse, and then he hit me over the chest when I wasn't expecting it. A cowardly thing to do, I think, and immediately afterwards butted me on the side of my head. After that, he sat down and wrote out a prescription and folded it up and gave it to me, and I put it in my pocket and went out. I did not open it. I took it to the nearest pharmacy and handed it in. The man read it and then handed it back. He said he didn't keep it. I said, "You are a chemist?" He said, "I'm a chemist. If I were a cooperative stores and family hotel combined, I might be able to help you. Being only a chemist limits me." I read the prescription. This was what it said: a balanced diet with water every couple of hours, a 10-mile walk every morning, to bed at sharp 11 o'clock every night. And don't stuff up your head with things you don't understand. I followed the directions with the happy result, speaking for myself, that my life was saved and is still going on. Adapted.